just monitoring this closely. Again, we get up here along Highway 9. That circulation's about ready to move here into Stigler. So again, I can't stress enough right now, Stigler, you need to be taking those tornado precautions. I know I keep repeating myself, but it is now the time is to do that as the circulation is just off to your south and to your east. Again, that circulation's right here. It's just south here of Highway 9, maybe kind of the up against Highway 9 here, and then it is coming right toward Stigler. So again, tornado precautions right now in Stigler. Do not wait any longer. This thing is getting almost right on top of you. Just kind of looking here across the rest of the area to make sure we don't have anything else ongoing. Good news is, let me see if I pan down here, that tornado warning that we did have here for Pushmataha County that was trying to work its way northeast here into Latimer County, that's gone. So our lone tornado warning right now in Oklahoma is this one right here over Haskell County. So let's go back into this and just continue to watch this closely because this is coming right into the Stigler vicinity. And as Brandon pointed out, it is now moving at about 35 miles per hour. So it has picked up a little bit of steam here as it tracks off to the north and to the east. So we'll do another quick storm track on this just to kind of update the times. I mean, this is right basically just on your doorstep here, Stigler. It is about ready to come on in. So we've got 35 miles per hour here. And again, we don't have confirmation of a tornado yet. That's certainly some good news, but we've got rotation here that is certainly concerning as it approaches Stigler from the south and west. So now Stigler 1219, Garland at about 1229, Red Hill at about 1239, and we're looking at Salisaw Creek at about 1247, Sadie at about 1249, Harrison about 1251. So again, just monitoring this as it continues to track off to the north and to the east. It's going to cross Highway 9 here, very near Stigler, if not in Stigler, and then continue to move off to the north and to the east. Eventually, it's going to come across here, Kerr Lake, and eventually work its way into Sequoia County if it can hold together for that long. That's if it maintains itself, but this is about the direction that it is moving. So those of you even around Salisaw, you need to be kind of on guard here. You're not under a tornado warning right now, but need to be on guard because of what is here to your south and west and tracking up into your direction. And we'll switch this back over to reflectivity data. You can see the line itself here is also capable of some strong and gusty winds that could push maybe 60 to maybe 70 miles per hour. So again, we've got severe thunderstorm warnings lined up here with this line all the way up from Warner back to Shakota. And then as we head back down here into southern portions of Haskell County where we don't have the tornado warning, you're still under a severe thunderstorm warning for the potential of damaging wind gusts, and also back here into Latimer County as well. So just monitoring this area of circulation. And once it does cross over here, into Sequoia County, it will be out of our forecast area and it will go into the Fort Smith forecast area, but we still need to watch this closely here with that circulation. You can still see there's a little bit of a curlicue here in that reflectivity, and I'll show you what I'm talking about, where it kind of works back like this. See that right there? So that's kind of right where that circulation is, right there. That's what we're watching closely, and it just lines up. Let me go ahead and take that off. But it lines up. We'll do storm relative velocity. There is that circulation. We can switch this over to velocity, and there is that circulation. Basically now kind of the east, or the west side of Stigler is where that circulation currently is. And Brandon, if you get any word, by chance, if we've got any word, if you see something coming up on chat that we're starting to get damage or near around Stigler, just feel free to chime in.
Yeah,
right
nothing as of now.
Okay, that's good. That's good. If we're not getting any reports, that is a great sign. But we're going to continue to monitor just in case we do, because that's still a fairly pronounced area of circulation here from Stigler and right along Highway 9 here to the west of Stigler. And again, this is going to continue to track off to the north and to the east. So I really hope this can move through, rotating, and that's it, and we don't have anything on the ground. That is certainly would be great news, because this is a little concerning just how close this is here to the town of Stigler. So hopefully we don't have anything on the ground with this. It's certainly trying. There's no doubt. You got the rotation here. The storm is trying. Hopefully we don't have anything on the ground as this moves in, but you need to be taking your tornado precautions just in case. So that is that's what we're watching here. So again, from Stigler, this is going to continue to track off to the north and to the east. So we've got areas here near Garland. So once we get farther here to the east, again, it's going to eventually work its way. It's going to be north of Highway 9. So we're going to be looking here northern portions of Haskell County. We've got Garland here. You get up to Tamaha and Red Hill, and then here's Kerr Lake here. So this is going to eventually work its way up to Kerr Lake and then cross over here and work into Sequoyah County. So those of you right now, northern portions here of Haskell County to the north and to the east of Stigler, really need to be watching this closely, taking your tornado precautions right now. The circulation is still back here near Stigler, kind of right over Highway 9 at the moment. So here's Highway 9. There's our circulation. It is a fairly broad area of circulation, but I'm going to draw it on here for you. There's our red outbounds right there. Here's our green inbounds right here. And so that circulation's pretty much right now near Stigler and just continue to track its way to the north and to the east. So again, as Brandon was saying, we don't have anything confirmed with this at the moment. That is fantastic news, and I certainly hope it stays that way. But that is still a fairly pronounced area of circulation here, right over Haskell County, right near Stigler. So you need to be taking the tornado precautions just in case. We saw it yesterday, how quick these things can spin up and produce a tornado. And at least this one's giving us a little bit of a heads up by showing so much circulation. So we just have got to be cautious with this as it does move off to the north and to the east. I'm going to go ahead and take those off of there. And we'll zoom out and zoom back in. We'll do another updated track here just to kind of give you some updated times. I'll have to zoom out just to give myself space to get that track in, and then we'll zoom back in. So just kind of scanning over the area. Again, that's our lone tornado warning that we do have right now in the region. We'll do a quick update here on this track. And again, hopefully the times don't change too much from what we had earlier, but I feel like this thing is almost slowing down a bit. It just feels like it's taking forever to get off to the north and to the east. But we're now at 12:22, and it's still sitting here near Stigler, or just out to the west of Stigler. So let's track this here off to the north and to the east at about 30 miles per hour. And again, Stigler pretty much right now need to be taking those tornado precautions. Again, Garland, we talked about this earlier. Those of you here in northern portions of Haskell County, as this tracks off to the north and to the east, it's coming across Highway 9. So eventually it's going to be north of Highway 9 here as it continues to move northeast. Red Hill, we're looking at 1247. And eventually, as it crosses over into potentially Haskell County, or potentially Sequoyah County, we could be looking at areas near Sadie over to around Salisal. This eventually could impact your areas as well as this tracks off to the north and to the east. So there's our concern back here near Stigler. And then we'll keep an eye on this downwind here, not under tornado warning right now. But again, we could be later if this holds together into Sequoyah County. So I'll take that track off and we'll put this back onto reflectivity. And just real quick, I do want to take a look at all the rain that is going across the area. And then we'll jump back down to this tornado warning. So again, panning here as we go back up into the Tulsa metro. We've had a lot of rain, and again, it has been a soaker, a lot of flooding. You can see the rain still coming down here in Tulsa, mostly some light to moderate rain, maybe a few pockets of some heavier rain back here near Okmulgee County. We've had a lot of flooding through here, lots of flooded roads. Just a reminder, do not attempt to cross any flooded roads. You just don't want to risk it. It's just not worth the risk. We saw what can happen with that with the last time, just going back a week or two ago with the heavy rain that we had seen. So again, just a reminder, flooding is a concern pretty much area-wide. The main severe threat is going to be here to the south and to the east here for the next hour or so until we can get this out of our forecast area. And then by then, we just kind of wait for this rain to gradually move on out. So this is our window here, severe weather for today. Once this clears the area, that is going to be it. But we've got severe thunderstorm warnings here from basically Muskogee all the way back down into southeast Oklahoma. And Brandon, it has been somewhat of a busy morning here. We were watching these storms and just kind of monitoring in case something would try to spin up. And unfortunately, we have seen that happen.
That's right, Michael. Of course, now we're at 12:25, and we have been tracking this over the last couple of hours just to see if something would spin up, and it definitely did. Now, the National Weather Service, of course, is keeping a close eye on this as well, right over Stigler, and they say that the rotation over Stigler has weakened over the past couple of scans, but they continue for Haskell County that tornado warning until 12:45 unless they cancel it early, and they could do that, but it does continue for the next 20 minutes. But as we go back in time here, you can see that we did have some tighter circulation, stronger circulation back to the southwest of Stigler. That is shown there in red, that strong circulation. But as we go in throughout the present time, it's still there, but we do think that there are signs that it could be weakening over the next couple of scans. And we'll just have to wait the next couple of minutes to see how that trend goes.
Yeah, that would be a positive trend for sure. And as Brandon mentioned, it's just one of those things you just kind of have to wait and see, and something that both Brandon and I will continue to monitor here as we go over the next few minutes, just to kind of see how this evolves. And of course, we'll wait until we're certain that circulation is weakened or moved out, and then we'll go back to programming. And right now we're in our new newscast, so we would go back to the regular new newscast once this moves out. But at the moment, we've still got a tornado warning here into Haskell County, and again, still a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings as well. And I just talked about the flood threat, but let's go in a little closer. Brandon was showing you there with the rotational track how that has weakened a little bit here around the Stigler vicinity. Now I'm going to switch this back over to Fort Smith radar. That just gives us a little bit better, cleaner picture to scan this storm, because Fort Smith radar is right here. It's a lot closer compared to the Tulsa radar, and it certainly is still. We're still seeing some rotation here, but as Brandon was mentioning, we are seeing some signs that perhaps this rotation is weakening just a little bit. But there are still some prominent inbounds here, and still have some of these red outbounds relatively close. But it's fairly broad. But right now, it's basically sitting almost right on top of Stigler. So again, hopefully we don't have anything ongoing here in Stigler with the tornado on the ground. We have not had any confirmed reports with this, but just to let you know, the storm that is over you right now, it is trying. It is certainly trying to do something, but right now, hopefully it is not. But you need to be taking your tornado precautions just in case. So that's what we're keeping an eye on here. Let's pan a little farther here to the north and to the east. We mentioned it earlier. Garland, need to be taking those tornado precautions right now, as this is going to be tracking its way up in your direction. And also here, Red Hill, need to be taking those tornado precautions at the moment. So let's go back here. I'm going to zoom in a little closer here around the Stigler area. We'll get down into some of the more of these streets and roads here, just to kind of show you what we're looking at. And again, here is Stigler, Main Street / Highway 9 right through Stigler, North Airport Road now. And again, any of this area here from North Perry Road, North Airport Road, kind of need to be in those tornado precautions at the moment. As we pan here a little farther to the north and to the east, because this is going to track its way kind of in this direction here. So we've got North Tamaha Road, East County Road 1190. Any one of these roads here, you need to be taking your tornado precautions right now. Again, there's Garland right here, and East Cass Road, and then also we've got East County Road 1160 here that runs just north of Garland. Need to be taking those tornado precautions as well. So again, we're kind of north and east of where that circulation is, right around the Garland area. And again, tornado precautions, need to be taking those right now. We're going to go back here into around the Stigler area. So here's Stigler. Here's our green inbounds. Here are our red outbounds here. So we've kind of got a broad area of circulation right on top of Stigler at the moment. So that's why we've been saying take those tornado precautions right now in Stigler. Still no word of any confirmation with this, but we do have a storm that is certainly trying to do something. It's definitely rotating, and hopefully, as Brandon was pointing out, as we continue here over the next few minutes, hopefully this will continue to show signs of some weakening. That would be some positive news. But right now, we still have that tornado warning that is in effect here for Haskell County. So let's put back on here with the reflectivity again. And before I do that, there you can see the yellow box. That's the severe thunderstorm warning that we have in effect here from basically south of Muskogee all along the line into southeast Oklahoma. So the concern with that is mainly going to be the damaging wind threat. So as we go in a little tighter here, you can see the embedded line, and I'll show this to you, where we've got the concern with some damaging wind gusts. And then, of course, embedded in that, we do have the tornado warning. So as we pan here, you can see the higher end reflectivity here from Warner back up to around Muskogee, and then that line kind of arcs its way here and then drops south here through Haskell County. Anywhere along this line, we could have some damaging wind gusts 60+ miles per hour. So even if you're not in that tornado warning here for Latimer County, southern portions of Haskell County here around Red Oak, you could still get some damaging wind gusts with this as it does move through. But it's right in this area here. We've got a little circulation that has developed, and there's actually a boundary that this is kind of riding along, and that's why that circulation's been a little enhanced here within this line as it does track off to the north and east. So that's how this has been able to just kind of maintain itself. Thankfully, though, still nothing confirmed with that. Let's go back over here to the velocity data again. It looks like that has even weakened a little bit more. Hopefully that trend continues for us here. But again, still kind of a broad area of circulation here over northern portions of Haskell County. So there's Stigler here. Looks like the main circulation is probably now just maybe north here of Stigler. You're kind of on the south end of it the way it's looking right now. So you still might be kind of on the south end of it, but the main area of rotation is right about in here, just near and north of Stigler. And that's going to continue to track off here to the north and east. So we've got Garland here, and eventually we've got Red Hill and Tomahawk that we'll have to keep an eye on if the circulation continues to track off to the north and east. And of course, right here's the lake as well. So eventually it will get up here to Robert S. Kerr Lake and eventually cross over into parts of Sequoyah County. So just keeping an eye on this. Let's go back here to the south and to the west. And that circulation certainly does look a bit weaker compared to what it was looking like earlier. Let's switch this over to correlation coefficient. That would possibly detect any debris that could be lofted in here. And right now, not seeing anything there. That's certainly some good news. Looking at our rotational track, not nearly as bright as it was earlier. As Brandon was pointing out, it was certainly stronger when it was southwest of Stigler compared to what we've got right now. But it is still there. That doesn't mean that it's gone. It's still there. But we are seeing positive signs that perhaps this is weakening a little bit. But I still would not let your guard down because these things can spin up quickly. We want to make sure that this thing has really weakened before we go off the air, or even before the Weather Service would happen to drop that tornado warning. So we still have to be on guard here. Tornado precautions, Garland over to around Red Hill and up to Tomahawk. So again, let's pan here, kind of this area, northern portions here of Haskell County is where we're looking. So that circulation is kind of tracking up in this direction. And so that is the concern right now with this circulation. It's still ongoing. It is not as tight as it was earlier, but we still have to be wary of this as it tracks off to the north and to the east. Switching it back over to velocity data. Let's see if we got another update here, another scan that's come in. And those greens certainly not as prominent as they were earlier. Let's take a few. Yeah, we're down into the 30s. Remember earlier I had some of these inbounds that were up 50 plus, almost 60 miles per hour. So some of those have certainly dropped off, showing some signs of weakening. That's certainly some good news. But again, just have to watch this carefully here as it does move off to the north and to the east. We'll do another storm track on this, and then we'll get back to some of the flooding concerns as well that we've got in the area and get a look at that. So let me zoom out and zoom back in so I have enough room here to actually track this off to the north and east. That's our lone tornado warning, and hopefully once this gets out of here, that is it, and it should be it for the day. Let's do a quick track here, and again, I'm going to take this kind of broad area because it's a fairly broad area of circulation that we're tracking here. I'm just going to track this off to the north and to the east at about 30 miles per hour. So again, if it continues that track, we're looking at Red Hill here, probably over the next 15 minutes or so. And then eventually it's going to work its way here into Sequoyah County, hopefully continuing to weaken as it does so. But you can see a lot of communities here in Sequoyah County that are not under a tornado warning, but could be later if this circulation were to hold together. So you need to monitor this here if you are in areas here around Sadie and over to around Sallisaw, because you do have an area of circulation just off to your south and west that needs to be monitored as this does track off to the north and to the east. So again, tornado precautions right now, northern portions of Haskell County. Let's get back here to the reflectivity data, and we'll switch this back over to Tulsa radar. And let's pan back here to the north up as we get to around Tulsa. Let me just zoom out. That'll be a little quicker, just kind of give you an overview. Again, in Tulsa right now, we are dealing with a lot of rain. We've had a lot of flooding concerns around the area, lots of high water. And just a reminder, do not attempt to cross any flooded roadways. Just don't do it. It is not worth the risk. This rain, this whole area of rain is gradually going to continue to move out as we go from through the afternoon, west to east. And again, the main severe threat is going to be with what we have right now here to the south and east. Once this clears our forecast area, we're good. We don't have to worry about severe weather the rest of the day or into tonight, but we still will have those lingering flood concerns. So pretty much anywhere in green country, high water is going to be a concern. We've had a lot of rain the last 2 to 3 days, and we had a lot of rain before that. And what could be, we'll have to check the rainfall total. We're getting very close to a record rainfall in Tulsa for the month of April. We'll see where we end up here by the end of the afternoon as this rain moves on out. So again, the flood threat is still going to be a concern, even though the severe weather threat is going to be winding down through the afternoon. Let's get back down here to our severe storms again. Just wanted to kind of touch base on the flooding concerns that we've had across the area, but we don't have to worry about severe weather in Tulsa in case you're worried about that. We are good. Don't have to worry about that at all. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning here to the south and to the east. And let's switch this back over to the Fort Smith radar. It just gives us a little cleaner scan into these storms in southeast Oklahoma. What I am going to do, I am going to track the severe thunderstorm warnings that we do have here. So let's do a quick track with that. This will, we'll do the tornado warnings separate, but I am going to take the leading edge here of this line of storms right back here and track this off to the north and to the east. And the line itself has actually been moving a little faster than that area of circulation. It's kind of somewhat lagging behind. But again, for the severe thunderstorm warning here, we've got Cedar 1237, McLean at about 1237, Norris 1238. So all this moving in here in the next couple of minutes. Hughes at about 1241, Weber's Falls 1242, Red Hill at about 1244, and Tomahawk at about 1244. Again, this is for the severe thunderstorm warning, where we could have winds gusting 60+ miles per hour. That's going to be the main concern with this, as it does track off to the north and to the east. And again, embedded in this line of severe storms, we do have that area of circulation that we are tracking. And let's go back to velocity data here. And it looks like that area of rotation has weakened, possibly even a little more, just at first glance here. We'll get a look at this here a little closer. Definitely has come down a little bit more, especially on some of these inbounds here. They're not as bright as what we had earlier, but still fairly broad area of circulation here. It's not out of the, it's not done yet, that's for sure. That's what I want to say. We've still got that area of circulation here right near Garland.
Looks like we've had a couple of brief touchdowns near Stigler.
Okay, just
reported at 12:35.
So at 12:35, a couple brief touchdowns near Stigler. That has come across the chat. Now, do we know if there's any damage with that, or just viewed touchdowns like in a field or anything?
That's the only thing we have right now.
Okay, and so at least a couple reports here, some brief touchdowns around the Stigler vicinity as this rotation moved on through. So no reports of any damage, but at least reports of a couple brief touchdowns with this as it did move through. And so that has been the concern. You know, these are they can happen pretty quick. And as we saw yesterday, but at least this one has given us a little bit more of a heads up. It showed its cover before some of the ones did yesterday. So again, we've got that area of rotation here into northern portions of Haskell County. So that is certainly some good news, or that has been weakening, which is certainly some good news. Not good news that we still got the rotation there, but we're not done yet. So we still have this circulation very near Garland. It is tracking off to the north and to the east. You still need to be taking those tornado precautions here from Garland up to Tomahawk and over to around Red Hill. Tornado warning, at least as of right now, does not extend here into Haskell County, but for any of you here from McKee to Harrison to Sadie to Salisaw, just need to be monitoring this area of circulation here off to the south and west. So this is going to be tracking up into your direction. And just got the new scan here, and I feel like these reds and greens are getting a little bit more separated. So that's certainly some good news. Kind of, it's not quite as tightly packed as it was earlier. So maybe this is showing some signs that it might be trying to weaken a little bit more. We'll kind of have to watch here, maybe see if we're getting a new area. Let me switch this over here to reflectivity. And then we'll go back here to velocity. Just kind of scanning this on the fly here as we go. Yeah, it's still kind of back here, but may have to watch an area here kind of southeast of that older circulation. Just looking at this, it might, I'm saying might be trying to maybe reorganize a little farther here to the south and to the east. So that's just something we'll kind of have to watch here, just seeing where some of these are starting to line up. But what we're looking back here near Garland, we are seeing a weakening trend, and Brandon was pointing that out earlier, looking at the rotational track, how this has certainly had a weakening trend as it's moved off to the north and to the east, but it is still there, so we're not out of the woods just yet. We still have that tornado warning that is in effect, and that tornado warning goes out here for Haskell County for the next 5 minutes. So we still have 5 minutes left here on this tornado warning until 12:45. That circulation has certainly shown some signs of weakening here, but it's still near Garland, and we're going to keep an eye on this line as it continues to track off to the north and to the east. But real quick, I am going to do another storm track on this, even though it does look like it is weakening right now. That is certainly some good news, and hopefully that trend continues for us. But let's go ahead and do another track on this just to get another update here. And I'm just going to track kind of the broad area. Again, this is a fairly broad area of circulation. It is not as tightly packed as it was earlier, and just track that here off to the north and to the east. It's been moving about 30 miles per hour, maybe a little slower than that, just judging by how slow it's kind of worked its way here through Haskell County. But again, kind of an updated look here on the times. Rotation could be approaching Tamaha at about 12:50, Red Hill at about 12:51, Salisaw Creek State Park at about 1 o'clock, Harrison 1:02. We're looking at Sadie at about 1:02, Salisaw about 1:13, Hanson at about 1:21, and Seven Oaks at about 1:21, and Aikens at about 1:27. Again, a lot of those other communities are here up into Sequoyah counties. Here we get into these 1 o'clock time frames. But just one of those where you just kind of have to keep on guard with it. Just keep a watchful eye on it as this does track off to the north and to the east. So again, still continuing right now with that tornado warning here over northern portions of Haskell County.
They're going to extend it, it looks like.
Looks like they are going to extend it. There
Sequoyah.
It is. Okay, there it goes. The new tornado warning now in effect here. And it looks like it's a little bit more of a northeasterly track compared to what I've got drawn here. So we'll get another update on that. And Brandon, if you have the updated speed of that, that would be great.
Yep, northeast at 30.
Okay, still holding on to that 30. Okay, so again, that rotation is still here, just enough to keep that tornado warning prompted here right around Garland. So let's track this here off to the north and to the east, and we'll take this here from Garland, track this here off to the north and to the east at about 30 miles per hour. So we're looking Tamaha now at about 12:49, Red Hill at about 12:53. Again, also around Harrison at 1:04, McKee at about 1:06, Marble City at about 1:23. And again, some of these other communities here are across into Sequoyah County. So now this tornado warning does include Sequoyah County. Could get very close here to Vian. Vian's not in that track that I drew, but I'd still be watchful here in Vian as well. Take those tornado precautions. McKee, take those tornado precautions. And again, certainly those of you here from Garland up to Tamaha, and if you live anywhere here, northern portions of Haskell County, go ahead and take those tornado precautions as this does track off to the north and to the east at about 30 miles per hour. Again, we did have a couple reports of maybe some brief touchdowns near the Stigler area, but to no reports of any damage, at least as of right now. Hopefully that stays that way. And then just monitoring this circulation here as it tracks off to the north and to the east. So there's our new tornado warning that has been issued here that does include now even I-40 here, basically from Salisaw over to around Vian and over to around Carlisle. So again, that stretch here on I-40, if you are, say, here sitting around the Gore Webbers Falls area here and you want to go east on 40, maybe just hold off on that just a little bit until this circulation tracks on through. So there it is, right near Garland. Keeping an eye on this tornado warned storm, Brandon. That rotation, it has kicked up a bit, and we still do have a tornado watch in effect for those of you to the south and to the east.
That's right, Michael. Now, officially from the National Weather Service, the watch goes all the way through 5 o'clock, but it's probably going to be out of our forecast area the middle part of the afternoon. But they say 5 o'clock just because that watch goes all the way in throughout northwest Arkansas as well, but that watch extends all the way up and throughout Muskogee. Now, the latest from the Storm Prediction Center, we do have that 2%, also the 5% in brown for that tornadic outlook today in southeast Oklahoma, and that level 2 out of 5, or that slight risk from Muskogee off towards the south and southeast. Now, just updated this from the Mesonet sites. 5.37 inches of rain just since yesterday in Skiatook, over 3 inches in Tulsa, 4.57 in Oilton, that's Northern Creek County, just over 4.5 inches there coming up probably pretty soon in Okemah. It's just going to take a few more rain showers to get it there, but it really drops off, especially off towards the southeast with this pattern that we have been in. So the storm total, very common in many locations, between 2 and 5 inches. In isolated spots, possibly between 6 to 7. That flood watch does continue all the way through tomorrow morning. Michael?
Yeah, with all the rain that we've had across the area, and you can just see how widespread it is right now across eastern Oklahoma, flooding has been a concern and continues to be a concern and will continue to be a concern, because even after all this rain moves out, we're still getting a lot of water around that's going to be draining into creeks and rivers. So we're going to have some flooding concerns that will continue likely for a couple of days before some of this water can hopefully recede in some spots. So just be mindful of that. We've already had a lot of flooded roads out there today with some closed roads. So don't attempt to cross any flooded roadways if you come across them. It's been a lot of rain over the last couple of weeks. So still have that rain in Tulsa. You can see the back edge of all that rain, though, working into far northwestern portions of our forecast area, and this rain will gradually move on out from west to east as we go through the afternoon. But we still have concerns here in southeast Oklahoma. That is where we have severe thunderstorm warnings and our one tornado warning that remains in effect here into Haskell and Sequoyah counties. So let's go ahead and zoom back in here on this. I'm going to do the severe thunderstorm warnings first, and then we'll get a closer look at the tornado warning with that circulation moving here over parts of Haskell County. So real quick, while we've got zoomed out here, we'll do a quick storm track with these severe thunderstorm warnings, and then we'll get a closer look at that tornado warning as well. So there's the arc here of this line of storms. Potential for some damaging wind gusts with this as it moves off to the north and to the east. The line itself has been moving closer to about 40 miles per hour. That circulation has been kind of hanging back a little bit, a little slower. But again, we're looking at Carlisle here at about basically moving in right now. Bragg's at about 1250, Walls 1252, Vian at about 1252, Bordeaux at about 1253, as well as Cartersville. And again, that's with the severe thunderstorm warning with potential for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So I'll take that off real quick, and then we'll zoom in a little closer here to where we've got that circulation that is still spinning here right over northern portions of Haskell County. So let's zoom in here a little closer and just kind of get a closer look at this, and then switch this over to velocity data as well. And there's still kind of a broad area of rotation mixed in with this, and it might be trying to, let me check here, click on some of these, might be trying to tighten up a little bit more here near the Tomahawk area. We're getting a little more green here, getting a lot closer to some of the reds, so we need to watch this closely. Not as much separation between those green inbounds and red outbounds compared to what we had earlier. So this thing might be, we'll kind of watch this and see how it evolves here. Switch it over to storm relative velocity. Still kind of this area here near Tomahawk. So again, take those tornado precautions right now in Tomahawk as this moves off to the north and to the east. So just keeping a close eye on this as it continues that northeasterly track at about 30 miles per hour. So as we do a quick storm track on this, that's what we'll do here. Let's just do another quick storm track here. Again, we'll take this from very near Tomahawk, and we'll track this off to the north and to the east at about 30 miles per hour or so. It looks like, oh, didn't get that to draw on there. Let's try that one more time, and we'll have to do this one more time. We have to zoom out a little bit, or at least pan this a little farther down and then track it. And let's do it that way to give you enough room here to get that track on there. So again, here from Tomahawk, and then we'll track this off to the north and to the east at about 30 miles per hour or so. And it looks like I continue to make a mistake there. So let's just zoom out and zoom back in. That gives me a little bit more space to work with here. And so I'm not quite as tight to get that track drawn on there. We'll leave a little bit more space this time. That way I can get that on here a little cleaner compared to what I was just doing. So there's the circulation right here, right near the Tamaha area. And we're going to track that here off to the north and to the east at about 30 miles per hour. So there we go. Now we've got a much cleaner look here. So basically, Tamaha, you need to be taking those tornado precautions right now, coming in here in the next few minutes. Vian, we're looking at about 105. McKee, 109. Pinhook Corner at about 114. Dwight Mission at around 118. And you can see if this circulation were to hold together, it's going to come across parts of Sequoyah County, but then it may have a chance to move here into southern portions of Adair County. So we'll have to watch this here. For those of you in southern Adair County, you could be in the path of this circulation if it holds together, and potential for tornado. We have not had anything. We did have at least a couple brief touchdowns reported around the Stigler area, but we have not had any reports, at least as of yet, of any damage coming through. But we still have to watch this. That circulation is still spinning here. Northern portions of Haskell County, moving off to the north and to the east, roughly about 30 miles per hour or so. So again, that circulation continues to move here to the north and east. I'm going to switch this back over here to, let's just do, instead of storm relative, let's just look at the regular velocity. And I want to get another closer look at this because it earlier looked like it might be trying to reorganize or strengthen a little bit. And it does look like it's a little tighter in here compared to what we had earlier right in this area. Again, it's not very strong, but at least the reds and some of these greens are getting a little closer together here. So let me just draw this on here real quick, kind of show you what I'm talking about. Here's our reds. They're kind of moving in this direction this way. And then our greens, they're kind of coming in this direction this way. So our rotation is going to be pretty much right in here, just off to the west here of Tamaha. And it's getting ready to come right across the river and the lake here. So here is, we've got areas here into Sequoyah County that this is going to come right across. And of course, Sequoyah National Wildlife Reserve here in southern portions here of Sequoyah County, right along the lake and the river. This is going to be coming up into your direction here as this tracks off to the north and to the east. And as we pan a little farther here, we've got areas here from Vian over to around McKee. Right here is I-40. So again, if you are back here, say Carlisle, or even back to around the Webbers Falls area and Gore area, and you want to go east on 40 and you're thinking about heading out right now, just wait off on that a little bit. Wait for this circulation, because this is going to come across I-40 here in western portions here of Sequoyah County. So let's just wait for this to work its way across the interstate before you decide to make your trip here along I-40, because it's sitting here just a few miles now to the south of I-40, moving off to the north and to the east. So there's our circulation right there. It looks like it is trying to possibly reorganize just a little bit more. We're not seeing as much space between some of these greens and reds. It looks like a few more greens begin to pop in here. So I think, Brandon, that this might be trying to pick back up a little bit as this does move off to the north and to the east.
Yeah, it's definitely cycling.
Yeah, I think it is.
From Stigler.
Yeah, you can definitely see here, looking back here at our rotation track here, and you can see we're definitely seeing our rotation detector here, definitely seeing still some rotation in that. Let's take a quick look here at correlation coefficient. Not really seeing, switch this back over to velocity. I'm not really seeing that line up with anything there. And so I think we're still good there, but definitely seeing a little bit more of an uptick. It's not extremely strong, but it is there, and it's a little tighter compared to what it was earlier. And because it is still ongoing and persistent, we do have a tornado warning that does remain in effect here. This is now situated in northern Haskell County. It's about ready to cross over into Sequoyah County. And what we may actually do, even though Sequoyah County is not in our forecast area, we may stick with this just because the path of this does continue. If it does hold together, could go off into Adair County, which is in our forecast area. So we may stick with this just to stay with this, because it could still continue to move back up into our forecast area here with that northeasterly track. So I just want to give everybody a heads up with that we may stick with this through Sequoia County and then continue to monitor if this does happen to come back over here into Adair County or possibly even clip southeastern portions of Cherokee County. So again, most of us are just dealing with rain and thunderstorms. We've got multiple severe thunderstorm warnings. Looks like we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning here for parts of Cherokee County. That is in this area here near Muskogee as well. So let's get a look at that. That is a new severe thunderstorm warning that has just popped in. And so let's go ahead and take a look at that severe thunderstorm warning. I'm going to switch this back over here to Tulsa, and we'll go back over to the reflectivity here. So again, it's this area here right near Muskogee County up to around Muskogee, Fort Gibson, and Bragg. Severe thunderstorm warnings here. Also includes Hulbert and Tahlequah. This is moving off to the north and to the east. And if you could, Brandon, updated speed on that severe thunderstorm warning, and I'll do a quick track on that new severe thunderstorm warning.
Yeah, and they're also keeping on that circulation, the possibility of that around the Kyoto area.
Okay.
But looks like northeast at 35 miles per hour.
Northeast at 35. So we'll do a quick storm track here with that severe thunderstorm warning just to give you an update here for those of you into Muskogee and into Cherokee County for this. So let's do a quick here. I take the leading edge here of some of that heavier reflectivity and perhaps some of those stronger winds. Track that here off to the north and to the east at about 35 miles per hour. So basically coming into Fort Gibson right now, Pumpkin Center, we're looking at 103. Aqua Park at about 106. Paradise Hill about 107. White Oak at about 114. Woodall at about 114 as well. Zeb at about 115. Hulbert 115. And Metairie at about 117, or Metairie at about 117. So again, just keeping an eye on that here to the north where we do have severe thunderstorm warnings. Main concern with that is going to be the potential for damaging wind gusts. So let's go ahead and get a look at what we have here with that circulation now that is getting ready to cross over from Haskell County into Sequoia County. And we're going to switch this back over to the Fort Smith radar. And let's go into velocity here with the Fort Smith radar, and there it is. And also we've got another area of circulation, again, that might be worth watching farther south and east down that line. So we've got a couple areas here that we need to watch. Still fairly prominent circulation. Here's Tamaha. That circulation is it's a lot narrower. Remember earlier it was somewhat of a broad circulation. I think this might be trying to tighten up a little bit more here. Let's switch back over to reflectivity. Can't really see much there. Go back to velocity. Let's see what storm relative velocity looks like. And it's still fairly prominent here, right near Tamaha. So take those tornado precautions right now in Tamaha. We've got that circulation pretty much just near you and to the north and west of you. And this is going to come right across the river and kind of clip the lake here as well. And eventually it's going to track its way here into parts of Sequoia County. So as we look farther here to the north and to the east, Vian, take those tornado precautions right now. If you live anywhere here between basically Salisaw and Carlisle here, you probably need to be taking those tornado precautions right now. There's the circulation. You can see it right there. It's tracking up in this direction. And I mentioned it earlier, if you're sitting here on I-40 and you either want to go from, say if you're in Salisaw and you want to go west, don't do it. If you are here to the west and you want to go east on I-40, say your Webbers Falls, Gore exit, or perhaps areas here, again, near southern portions of Muskogee County, you want to go east on I-40, just don't do it. We've got that circulation that's here. Going to come across I-40 if it holds together as it tracks off to the north and to the east. So again, Vian to McKee need to be taking those tornado precautions right now. Let's pan a little farther to the south here and just kind of keep an eye. Areas here that we are watching here near Kyoto. We've got another area that might be trying to start to rotate here between Kyoto and Star in far eastern portions here of Haskell County. And that's going to be tracking here off to the north and to the east. So just to kind of show you what we're looking at here, again, just monitoring this, but there's our outbounds going in this direction and our inbounds coming in this direction. So just kind of watching this area here. That might be trying to tighten up just a little bit, and we'll see if that potentially does prompt a tornado warning here as we go over time. You can still see, it looks like those greens have come down at least a little bit here in the last scan, but still seeing some hints here of some at least weak rotation from between Keota and to around Star. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as well as it tracks off to the north and to the east. Farther down the line here, just kind of monitoring. Now we're kind of getting here into western portions, northwestern portions here of LaFleur County, and then back here into McCurtain County, or excuse me, into McCurtain there, into Latimer County, but also as you get farther south into Puchmataha County and eventually into McCurtain County as well. Let's pan back here to the north. Again, I'm not seeing anything down here that's of any concern. We do have that one, kind of keeping an eye on that. Certainly need to monitor that. That could potentially strengthen and prompt a tornado warning. And right now we've got this one here that we're watching here. Let me switch this back over to radar velocity. Still a pretty good area of circulation here right near Tamaha. This is coming right over the river and the lake at the moment, and then it's going to continue to track off here to the north and to the east. So mentioned it earlier, right here along I-40. It's going to come right across I-40 here between Carlisle and Salisal. So this is tracking off to the northeast, very near Vian. Go ahead and take those tornado precautions right now. Go ahead and do so. You don't want to wait right now because that circulation is just here off to your south. And I'd go ahead and take those tornado precautions right now in McKee as this continues to track off to the north and to the east. I'm going to zoom back out again and just kind of give a quick overview of what we're looking at. And again, that's our lone tornado warning right now. And we've got that other area of circulation that we're kind of monitoring here, far eastern portions of Haskell County as well. So again, I've got the yellow boxes here are severe thunderstorm warnings, and in the red flashing box, that is the tornado warning. The green boxes that we've got out here into areas across central Oklahoma, those are flash flood warnings. But even where we don't have flash flood warnings, we have ongoing flooding in our area with some of the creeks and rivers that are up. So again, just be mindful of that. We'll go back in here. Let's go back to the severe thunderstorm warning here over Cherokee County and Muskogee County, also here kind of clipping Sequoia County and parts of Wagner County as well. So to do this, I'm going to switch it back over to reflectivity. We'll switch this back over to the Tulsa radar as well and reflectivity. And let's get a closer look here at this severe thunderstorm warning that we do have in place here. And so there, you can see a little bit more of the intensity and the reflectivity, some of these deeper oranges that are showing up, and it's kind of on the leading edge of that. That's where we could be getting some of those gusty winds, possibly up to about 60 miles per hour. So we'll do a quick storm track on that, just kind of take the leading edge here of some of these higher reflectivity values and track that off to the north and to the east at about 35 miles per hour. So basically Fort Gibson about 103, Aqua Park, Pumpkin Center about 107. We're looking at Paradise Hill at about 108, Tin Killer State Park at about 111, Qualls at about 116, Black Gum at about 117, White Oak at about 117. And again, main thing we're tracking with this will be the damaging wind gust threat up to about 60 miles per hour. Again, this is north of where we have that tornado warning that is currently in effect. Brandon?
That's right, Michael, and they are still concerned, the National Weather Service, with this circulation. You can see on rotation detector right over the Star area in throughout northeastern portions of Haskell County. So they might pull the trigger on this one just to the northeast of Keota. But right now we are showing very strong areas of rotation north of Cartersville and just to the south of the waterway there. So again, over the next couple of minutes, the National Weather Service, they might put a tornado warning on this as it moves off towards the northeast. But as of now, the only tornado warning we have in our forecast area is just northeast of Tamaha, and that goes until 1:30. So just crossing now in throughout southern portions of Sequoia County. But again, these two areas of circulations, we might have to be wary of that one off towards the south over the Star area. We'll just have to see what the Weather Service decides over the next couple of minutes, Michael.
Yeah, keeping an eye on those two areas. And again, until that tornado warning is dropped, I think we're going to go ahead and stay with this, even as it moves across Sequoia County, because as it continues to move off to the north and to the east, it could move back into our forecast area here for those of you in southern portions of Adair County. So just kind of keeping a close eye on that as it does continue that northeasterly track. So again, here's that track I did earlier with the severe thunderstorm warning. Let's get back down here with what Brandon was showing here with our tornado warning and kind of keep an eye on some of these circulations here near Sequoia County, Haskell County, and near the LaFleur County area. And let's switch this back over to Fort Smith. Again, the Fort Smith radar is right about here, and that just gives us a cleaner view. We'll go to velocity, a cleaner view into some of these storms. And yes, you can clearly see, even from this vantage point, we're kind of zoomed out. There's one circulation. There's that other one that we're just kind of keeping an eye on right near the star vicinity and far eastern portions of Haskell County.
Looks
there
like
it is.
yep,
there it is, right there. Yep. There you go. There's the tornado warning just popped in right there. I mean, that is pretty clear to see where those two circulations are right now. So we just had that new tornado warning issued. And Brandon, if you have the speed on that, and then I'll do a quick storm track with that as it does move off to the north and to the east.
It's going to be 25 miles per hour.
25 miles per hour. These are certainly, it kind of has felt like they have slowed up a little bit with time, just the duration of how long it seems for them to go from where they're going. So I think the speed has certainly slowed up a little bit. So now we're at 25 miles per hour. So we'll track this new tornado warned area here. The circulation is right near Star. Let's track this first, and off to the north and to the east at about 25 miles per hour. So we'll take that here and put that track on there. So we're looking at Brent at about 118, Gans at about 130, Hanson at about 134, Seven Oaks at about 137, Blackjack at about 140, Muldrow at about 142. We've got Aikens at about 143, Maple about 145, and that circulation, there it is, fairly prominent here, right near the Star area. And again, that is tracking off to the north and east at about 25 miles per hour. So if you are in these areas, take those tornado precautions right now. I mentioned this several times through the last hour or so. You want it to be in an interior room, away from any outside walls or windows. That just puts as many barriers between you and the outside as possible. Also want to make sure that you're on the lowest floor possible. And if you can protect yourself, get under something, that would be great as well. And I always mention, if you got a helmet you can put on, go ahead and do so. It could be anything. You got a motorcycle helmet, football helmet, baseball helmet, whatever you got, go ahead and put that on, and make sure you got some good shoes or some boots on to protect your feet, just in case you would come across any damage or take on any damage with broken glass, nails, things like that. Want to make sure your feet are protected. So again, there's that new tornado warning. That's what this track is for. Take those tornado precautions if you are in this area. Let's go back to the tornado warning here farther to the west. And we've got this circulation here now between Vian and Tamaha. That is a fairly pronounced area of circulation. It is going to cross here I-40, probably somewhere between Vian and here south of McKee. So this is going to continue to track off to the north and to the east. I do want to do a quick storm track on this one as well. That is a fairly pronounced area of circulation. And let's track this here off to the north and to the east. And we'll do about the same speed or so. Again, McKee, 116. We're looking at Pinhook Corner at about 121. Marble City, about 131. Flute Springs, 137. Brushy at about 138. Stony Point at about 148. And as mentioned, the reason we're going to stay with this particular one as well, even though this one's in Sequoia County, it's going to continue to track up here into Adair County, which is our forecast area. So if it holds together, it could be moving here to around Greasy at about 151 and Lyons at about 2 o'clock. So those of you here, southern portions here of Adair County, need to be monitoring this as it does track up into your direction. Right now, you are not under a tornado warning, but you've got a storm that is capable of producing a tornado just off to your south and to your west. So if that continues to track off to the north and east and hold together, that could be up here around Greasy and Bunch and Lyons and Cherry Tree here over the next hour or so. So we just need to monitor this as it does track off to the north and to the east. But in the immediate time being here, south of Vian is where we've got that rotation. Let's zoom in a little closer here on this and get a look at here at some of the road network here south of Vian. Again, this is going to get very close here to I-40. Now, a lot of this area here, we've got the lake and we've got Sequoia National Wildlife Reserve here. So again, kind of a area here with not a lot of population, but this is going to continue to work its way. Right here is I-40, so our circulation here is just south of Vian by maybe, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, by probably maybe 8 to 10 miles or so. So somewhere right in here, if that maybe, probably not even that, probably even just by 3 or 4 miles here as this continues to track its way off to the north and to the east. I was a little off there on my mileage, but again, that circulation still spinning here, coming right now, pretty much approaching I-40 here. So that's why if you are in Carlisle and you want to go east on 40, don't do it. Just wait for this circulation to come across the interstate. You don't want to get caught on the interstate as this is coming through, just in case we would happen to have a tornado with it. We don't have anything confirmed with this right now, but there's still fairly prominent rotation. It certainly is trying to do something, that's for sure. I'm going to pan a little farther here to the south and to the east. Let's get on this circulation. We got a closer kind of zoomed in view here of this circulation right near Star. So this also coming right across the lake here, Robert S. Kerr Lake. So here is Star. Here's our circulation right here, and it's now getting ready to come right across the lake and cross over here into southern portions of Sequoyah County and kind of clipping maybe perhaps far northwestern portions here right along the lake and the river of LaFleur County. So just keeping an eye on this as it does track its way here to the north and to the east. So right now that circulation is just off to your east and northeast in Star. And we're going to watch this as that tracks off to the north and east. So Brent need to be taking those tornado precautions right now. Gans need to be taking those tornado precautions. And eventually this could work up to around Hanson. This will also come across I-40, more than likely somewhere here to the east of Salisal, the way it's looking right now. So we'll kind of have to watch this area here on I-40 that we just have to monitor as that circulation tracks off to the north and to the east. So just monitoring that. Let's zoom out just a bit here, kind of give us a quick overview with what we've got. We've got 2 tornado warnings right now in effect, and these circulations are moving out of Haskell County and into Sequoyah County, and we're going to stick with it because especially this one to the western one could eventually work its way up here into Adair County as it tracks off to the north and to the east. And it's tracking here again right over western portions here of Sequoyah County. So let's zoom in just a little bit closer. That circulation now getting ready to come right across I-40 here, south and to the east of Vian. So right there's the circulation. I'll draw it on here for you so you can see that. Right there is the circulation, right there and right there. So it is in this general area is where that circulation is located. And we'll do another quick storm track on this. The speed of this has slowed up just a bit compared to what we had with some of the earlier speeds. Let's track this here off to the north and to the east at about 25 miles per hour. And so we're looking at Pinhook Corner at about 124, Dwight Mission about 128, Marble City 135, Flute Springs about 142, and Brushy at about 143. And Stony Point at about 154. And again, Greasy and Lyons in southern portions of Adair County. You're not under a tornado warning right now, but we are monitoring because the circulation is still holding together here, monitoring that could work its way up into your direction here as we continue through the afternoon. So just have to monitor this closely as it does continue to move here off to the north and to the east. So let me go ahead and remove that track real quick. I'm going to zoom out once again and kind of situate ourselves here, kind of show you what we've got here, the broad picture. I'm going to switch this back over to reflectivity and the Tulsa radar. And for those of you in Tulsa, we've got, again, some heavier rain here right into parts of the Tulsa Metro, southeastern parts of the Tulsa Metro. But you can see the back edge here, some of this light rain is about ready to move on through. So I fully anticipate this rain to continue to gradually work its way eastward. You don't have to worry about any severe weather right now in the Metro. In fact, basically anywhere Highway 69 eastward right now, with the exception here of parts of Muskogee County and Haskell County, basically, or I should say westward, Highway 69 and westward, basically is done with any severe weather potential. We just have the rain still ongoing. You're just kind of waiting for the rain to gradually move out as we go through the afternoon. But we still have the severe threat here to the south and to the east that we are closely monitoring. Again, right now we've got 2 tornado warnings that we are keeping a very close eye on. And we've also got severe thunderstorm warnings here from Cherokee County and Muskogee County back down here into Lafleur County. So let's zoom in. Don't want to forget the severe thunderstorm warning that we've got here tracking into Cherokee County. You can see this higher reflectivity here, and the leading edge of that could have potential for some damaging wind gusts. So let's do a quick storm track with that here from near Wagner and OK, and back down here to where our tornado warnings are, and track that here off to, I'm going to do that one more time. Looks like I made a little mistake there drawing that track. Let's try that one more time here. And again, kind of right along this line and track this off to the north and to the east. And so Redbird Smith at about 116, 10 Killer State Park 117, Black Gum at about 122, Qualls 124, and eventually to around Woodall at about 126, and Hulbert at about 129. So again, tracking here into Cherokee County, potential for some strong wind gusts, maybe up to about 60 miles per hour as this area of storms moves off to the north and to the east. It is to the south of here, though. That is where we have our tornado warning. So let's go back here and get another look at these. And let's switch this back over to the Fort Smith radar to get a better, cleaner look at this. And we'll zoom in here a little closer. Still a couple areas that are certainly worth watching. We've got the one here south of Sallisaw that is spinning kind of right on top of Robert S. Kerr Lake here between Star and Brent at the moment. And then we've got the other circulation that is coming right across I-40. So this is coming right over I-40 here, south and east of Vian. So the circulation basically right now is on top of I-40, just gradually moving here off to the north and to the east. So let's do a quick storm track on this one again. We'll update that. Actually, let's update this one first because we had just did that one a moment ago. So we'll get back to this one first, and then we'll get back up to the one there farther to the west. So I'm going to take this from here, from near Brent, and track this off to the north and to the east. And again, these have been moving closer to about 25 miles per hour. They have slowed up a little bit from what we were seeing earlier. So right now, Brent, definitely need to be taking those tornado precautions right now. Gans at about 1:33 it could be an estimated time of arrival of this circulation and potential tornado. Seven Oaks at about 1:42. We're looking at Blackjack 1:44. Aikens at about 1:48. Maple about 1:49. And Long on the end of this tornado warning that is in effect here about 1:57. So again, just tracking that off to the north and to the east, keeping an eye on that. Tornado precautions, need to take them right now here for those of you south and east of Sallisaw, but also for those of you here to the west and eventually to the north here, Sallisaw, for this particular circulation. So let me take that track off and let's go do a quick track on this one. Boy, this one looks like it's tightening up even more, Brandon, to be honest with you. That is a fairly pronounced tight circulation here right over I-40 at the moment. So this is coming right across I-40. Let's do another quick storm track here. And now it looks like it has come across I-40 and now it's just north of I-40. So let's track this here off to the north and to the east at roughly about 20 to 25 miles per hour. So Pinhook Corner, 129, Dwight Mission, 134, Flute Springs, 149, Bunch at about 202, Stony Point at about 203. And these circulations continue to remain fairly prominent, Brandon. It's been somewhat of a busy stretch here over the last couple of hours as we've watched these circulations just continue to push off to the north and east.
That's right, Michael. We went on about 10 to 12 minutes right before noon, and we do have what we have in terms of the National Weather Service data and this same line of showing those circulations. And so we have some of those circulations there, of course, with the tornado warnings off towards the southeast, and then up towards the northwest here. We have to really watch this in southwestern portions of Cherokee County. There is a little bit of rotation showing up, and that is kind of on the same line as those other tornado warnings. And so going to have to watch this as the shear rate kind of picks up there just to the northeast of Paradise Hills. So that could be the next one in line here over the next couple of minutes, Michael.
Yeah, definitely keeping an eye on that. That's a great thing to point out there, Brandon. We'll take a look at that here with the velocity data as well, as you mentioned. And again, just monitoring this line where you can get these circulations here that can develop relatively quickly, as we saw yesterday. And again, we still have a fairly prominent circulation here, as Brandon was pointing out with the rotation detector. Right now, tracking here between Vian and McKee. That is continuing to move off to the north and to the east. Let's do pan here a little farther where Brandon was talking about here into parts of Cherokee County, and getting a little hint here, some weak circulation perhaps here around Qualls, and that's going to be tracking off to the north and east as well. So we'll continue to monitor that too, just to make sure we don't get another area of circulation that could develop here as that slowly works its way here now into southern portions of Cherokee County. So just monitoring this closely as everything moves off to the north and to the east. Again, most of us in the area, if you're here in Tulsa, we don't have to worry about severe weather. We're fine. We are in good shape. In fact, that is pretty much the case for about 85% of our forecast area. But there is a small percentage here to the east and southeast that we are still concerned with as this line of storms moves on through. And we've got multiple tornado warnings here for Sequoia County. Let's get back in here onto those and zoom in a little closer and just see how this rotation is doing here. First, we'll check this one here. It looks like this is still ongoing here. Looks like this circulation has come right across the east side here of Kerr Lake. Let's zoom in just a little bit closer, see if we can get this to show up a little better here. Right near the Brent. It's still fairly, right near Brent, but still fairly broad, but still there. Is not certainly showing signs that it's going away. But again, it's still fairly broad circulation here coming right across Bent. And now it looks like it's now moving to the north now of Robert S. Kerr Lake. So again, that's going to continue to track here off to the north and to the east. We'll go back here to our circulation that has the tornado warning that just came across here. I-40 with that circulation. We've still got a fairly pronounced area of circulation here. So we've got McKee here. This is McKee Road. Up here is Pinhook Corner. So right now, Pinhook Corner, you need to be taking your tornado precautions right now. We've got that circulation just right here, just off to your south and west by a mile or two at the moment. So again, the radar could be delayed by a little bit as well. So there's a chance this could be being a little bit closer than what the radar is showing. So again, tornado precautions right now in Pinhook Corner. We've got that circulation approaching here from the south and to the west, just monitoring this as it does continue to track off to the north and to the east. Let's go ahead and what we'll do is zoom out again here, and then we'll zoom back in, and I'll do some updated tracks here on these tornado warnings that we do have in effect. And again, we're going to stick with this because this particular rotation, if it holds together, could eventually track its way up into southern portions of Adair County, which is our forecast area. So we're not going to go away from this until these are either dropped or these have either cleared our area. So we're going to stick with it until that happens. So let's go ahead and do a quick storm track here. We'll actually try to track both of these areas of circulation. Let's take first, let's take this one here that's right near Pinhook Corner. It's tracking off to the north and to the east at about 25 miles per hour or so. So Pinhook Corner, we just mentioned it, tornado precautions right now. Dwight Mission, tornado precautions right now. Marble City, the same. Flute Springs, you need to be taking those tornado precautions at this very moment. Now, you're not under tornado warnings here farther to the north and to the east, but that circulation is moving in your direction. So Greasy potentially could have circulation moving in here just before 2 o'clock. Lyons perhaps just after 2 o'clock. Cherry Tree as well after 2 o'clock. That is if this were to hold together. So we've got a little time here. It's not moving very fast. We've got a little time here for this to work its way up into your direction. But we are closely monitoring that circulation that is prompting those tornado warnings. And there's a good chance, or perhaps that we could see that tornado warning extended up in your area as this continues to track off to the north and to the east. Looking back at this circulation here farther to the south, this one is not looking as prominent as it was earlier. Let's zoom back in here right around the Gans vicinity and areas here around Brent. You can see how this area kind of arcs back here, so it's fairly broad, and we're not getting some of those reds and greens kind of as close as we were earlier, but it might just be cycling as well. You know, it looks like it's come down a little bit for the time being, but it could very easily ramp back up again as well. So just need to monitor this. But for the time being, we still have tornado warnings that are in effect here for those of you south and east of Sallisaw as well. So Gans, Hanson, Blackjack, even up to around Maple, possibly as far north as Seven Oaks. Need to be taking those tornado precautions right now. So just monitoring this closely.
Looks like they're going to extend the Sequoia County. Let me see which one.
Possibly, I imagine there it is right there.
The northern.
Yep, the northern one. And we may have an updated speed. So if you have that speed, Brandon, as soon as you have a chance, let's get a look at that, because they did not extend that warning. Looks like they held it off for the time being for Cherokee County and Adair County.
It's like 20 miles per hour.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I feel like these things are
really slow.
They're really slowing down compared to what they were earlier, but just because I feel like at some of these speeds that we've been seeing that they should be a little farther along than what they've been. So it does feel like it has been slowing down. So now we're at about 20 miles per hour with the forward speed of this. It has been slowing down as it's moved off to the north and to the east. So let me do a quick storm track, because I just tracked it for about 25 miles per hour, a little more. So we're going to track it for a little bit slower time here at about 20 miles per hour. So again, let's track this here off to the north and to the east at about 20. And it just has felt like that these have been moving a little slower than what we were originally looking at some of these speeds. I feel like they have certainly slowed up just a bit. So now we're looking at Pinhook Quarter about basically right now. Dwight Mission at about 134. Marble City about 142. Flute Springs at about 150. Bunch about 206. Greasy at about 211, and Lyons at about 224. So again, that's that new timing here with the slower speed of these areas of circulation that we're tracking. So again, just take those tornado precautions right now as this does move off to the north and to the east. Again, at the moment, we do not have a tornado warning in effect here for either southeastern portions of Cherokee County or southern portions of Adair County, but that circulation is crawling at a slow pace in your direction. So there is a chance that if it continues to hold together, that we can eventually get a tornado warning here into southern portions of Adair County at least, and possibly even clipping southeastern portions of Cherokee County. So there's the updated track and times of that circulation there. Again, that circulation's right over Pinhook Corner as we speak. Tornado precautions right now, interior room, away from any outside walls and windows, and the lowest floor possible. So just please be mindful of that. I'm going to take that off real quick. I do want to go back and look. We were, as Brandon was pointing out earlier, we were getting a little hint of perhaps some circulation around the Qualls vicinity. Still fairly broad area here, but it does still look like we've got a weak area of rotation right near Qualls. That's also tracking off to the north and to the east. We'll kind of keep an eye on that here as that works its way here through southern portions here of Cherokee County. So just kind of monitoring that here from Keys to Carter's Landing and Pettit, and eventually over here, potentially to around Welling, Tailholt, and maybe even up to around Briggs, or possibly even approaching western portions of Adair County, if this circulation that's fairly weak right now, but just one of those things where you just kind of need to monitor it as we go with time here. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect, and I'll zoom out and show you those severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect here for eastern and southeastern portions here of Cherokee County, and also all the way back down here into LaFleur and into parts of McCurtain County as well. But this is where our main concern is for this potential severe weather here to the south and to the east. Again, you get back into the Tulsa Metro. I'll switch this over to reflectivity. Get back into the Tulsa Metro. We still have some rain ongoing, but we do not have any severe weather to worry about. In fact, the majority of our forecast area, those of you here, Okmulgee County, Pittsburgh County, you're in the all clear as far as severe weather. We're not in the all clear as far as the rain and the flood potential, but as far as severe weather, that wind, hail, and tornado threat, you are in the all clear. That is confined now to far eastern portions of the region. And until this line here from Cherokee County does track over into Arkansas, then we still have to monitor these areas to the east. So this line has slowed up a little bit. It's taken a little more time than was looking like earlier, and that's why these tornado warnings and the speed of these areas of rotation has certainly slowed down. And we'll get another updated look at those times here in just a second. But Brandon, it's been somewhat busy for us here as we continue with a couple tornado warnings in Sequoia County that we need to monitor because they could work up into Cherokee and Adair County as well.
That's right, Michael. You can see that we have the ongoing rotations there on dual Doppler and the 3 tornado warnings in our area right now. Now, the National Weather Service just a few minutes ago extended the tornado watch in throughout Adair County until 5 o'clock, though it's probably going to end way sooner than 5. But Adair County is now included within the tornado watch. They have not put a watch out for Cherokee County. So just concerned about Adair County right now if those ongoing rotational areas continue to move off towards the northeast between about 20 and 25 miles per hour. So if they do have to extend those tornado warnings in throughout Adair County, the watch is now being included for Adair County over the next couple of hours. Looks like we have 2 tornado warnings right now. They canceled that other one, Michael.
Yeah, and the slow movement of these, it's kind of a situation where you might be in that tornado warning and there might be a little anticipation, maybe a little anxiety, and it takes a little time to get to you. So be patient. Go ahead and take those tornado precautions, but these they have slowed down just a bit, and they're not fast movers like we sometimes see in our area. So just taking a little bit of patience for these to move through, but safety, obviously, the most important thing as these continue to track on through. So there we go. Here's a look at all that rain. Again, we talked about the flood potential with that, and Brandon was pointing out here some of that with the rotation detector here with some of these storms now moving here across Sequoia County, and it has been a very slow go. In fact, I'll play the loop here with these storms. So this is a half-hour loop, and you can see kind of the leading edge there. So it went from about there to there in about a half hour. So it is moving slowly to the north and to the east. But you can also see, just looking at the reflectivity, see these little curly cues? Look at that. You can see the rotation in that one. You can see the rotation in this one. You can actually see a little hint of that rotation that we've been tracking here in parts of Cherokee County as well. So again, just monitoring this as it does move off to the north and to the east. In fact, that Cherokee County storm, looks like we got a new severe thunderstorm warning on that one here. So let's do, let me stop that real quick, and let's do a storm track on this particular storm. So that is this leading edge right here. And that severe thunderstorm warning does go up here into parts of Adair County. So let's take a look at this and just do a quick storm track with this as this does move off to the north and to the east. And I imagine with the circulation in there, this is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible designation, just because we are seeing a little hint of some weak circulation here right now over southern portions of Cherokee County. So even with that, the strong winds with this could produce a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. We're looking at Keys 135, Pettit Bay at about 136, Gabriel at about 136, Cookson at about 137, Green Country Estates about 137, Wildcat Point about 140, and Indian Meadows as well as Park Hill at about 140. And eventually downwind here, we've got Tahlequah, we've got eastern portion or western portions here of Adair County, including Titanic, that these severe storms could be moving on through. So just keeping an eye on those. Let's go back to velocity. I'll go ahead and remove that particular track. And again, there's that hint of a little bit of rotation that we were just talking about here over southern portions of Cherokee County. But the rotation has been a little more prominent here to the south. Let's zoom in a little closer now into these areas here over Sequoia County. So we've got this tornado warning here, still near the Dwight Mission area. So tornado precautions right now, Dwight Mission, and you need to be taking those tornado precautions as well here near Marble City as this circulation continues to track off to the north and to the east. It doesn't look quite as strong as what we had earlier. We were getting some brighter greens in there with some of these inbounds, but let me go ahead and kind of click here with what we've got. Again, still seeing some of the outbounds here in that 30-mile-per-hour range and some of the green inbounds here in a 20-mile-per-hour range. So just monitoring that here as that circulation tracks off to the north and to the east. So it's kind of broad right now. Earlier we had some brighter greens and some brighter reds that they were a little closer to each other, but it does look like that has come down just a bit. But a lot of times these can cycle, they can kind of intensify, then they'll kind of diminish a little bit, and then they can ramp back up again. So they'll go through these cycles. So it might just be cycling at the time being, but we still have rotation here. So Dwight Mission, Marble City, Flute Springs, tornado precautions right now as this continues to track here across portions here of Sequoyah County. And again, that track is off to the north and east. I will update that track here as well. And again, let's track this here off to the north and to the east. Let's see if I can do that real quick. Let's try that one more time here and track this off to the north and to the east. And what I may do is I may have to zoom out just, or at least pan down a little bit just to give me a little bit more room here to draw that track on there. And but it has slowed down. That has been the one good thing with this. This has slowed down. That has certainly been good. So it's not tracking near as fast as it was earlier. So there is our latest track and times here. So we've got Marble City about 141. We've got Flute Springs at about 150. Bunch 205. Greasy about 210. And Lyons at about 223. Again, that's if the circulation can hold together and eventually work up here into southern portions of Adair County. And it's been very persistent. So right now, I think it's a very good possibility that this does hold together and work its way into Adair County, because it has been persistent. Even though we're kind of seeing it fluctuate from time to time here, we've had some persistence with this. And again, it's not nearly as strong as it was earlier. And it looks like actually the tornado warning has just been dropped. So that is certainly some good news. Still some weak rotation here that is worth monitoring, but the tornado warning that we did have here has been allowed to expire. So that is certainly some good news. Let me zoom out just a bit more. And again, we've got our lone tornado warning here in far eastern portions of Sequoyah County, and our severe thunderstorm warning here in Cherokee County. And let's just real quick get another updated look at some of this here. At the moment, we don't have any tornado warnings that could impact our forecast area. This one down here looks like it's going to stay to the south of Adair County. So I think that one we'll still monitor here as it tracks its way here to the south and east of Sallisaw. So we still need to monitor that. And of course, we still kind of have to monitor some of these areas of potential circulation here to the northern portions here, Sequoyah County, and also that weak area that we've got here in Cherokee County. But we still have that severe thunderstorm warning right now in Cherokee County for potential of again, wind gusts, could be damaging wind gusts. So we got severe thunderstorm warning. There's the Adair County severe thunderstorm warning, and there is the Cherokee County severe thunderstorm warning. Potential for wind gusts with this up to 60+ miles per hour. So we're going to continue to monitor this, but now, at least for the time being, that we don't have any tornado warnings currently threatening our current forecast area, we will go ahead and go back to regular programming, and we'll continue to update you through the afternoon. Of course, if any of these would happen to tighten back up again, we will be right back on the air with these. And but right now, the tornado warning that was in effect here over Sequoyah County that was looking like it might head here to Adair County, that has been allowed to expire. So we will go back to regular programming, but we're not going to go anywhere. We're going to continue to monitor these storms as we go through the afternoon. It looks like it might take a couple of hours for these to potentially move on through. And now we just got an update. Let me just switch this back over to velocity. And yeah, it still looks like that velocity has come down just a bit here with that northern area. And we're still monitoring this area here over Sequoyah County, but that thankfully looks like it is weakening. But now that the at least immediate tornado threat has come to an end in our forecast area, we will go back to regular programming, and if we need to jump back on, we will, and we'll have other
changing how much they have to contribute to Medicaid, impacting families like Sadie's. The Trump administration argues its plan would cut fraud, reduce federal spending, and give states more control